We need to move quickly. Our plan is foolproof.
Agreed, but we must keep it hidden from them.
And you'll be safe. Trinidad is not a target. Tobago is not a target. So I totally disagree with the narrative out there by some, that we're exposing our nationals to danger. As Farley said it earlier, there's war and there are rumors of rumors of war. There is no war. T&T is not a target. The targets are narco-traffickers, gun runners. Farley said it earlier, there's war and there are rumors of rumors of war.
The deception of Farley Augustine and Kamla Persad-Bissessar, unmasking the lies and cover-ups. Farley Augustine, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, and Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar have built a public image of cooperative leadership. Yet their repeated secret meetings and synchronized denials reveal a calculated conspiracy to mislead the public on critical issues like the radar system, a radar surveillance network now linked to US military involvement in Tobago. Pattern of secret meetings and denials. In May 2025, they held a 5-hour closed-door session on Tobago's autonomy, development, and national security, despite Kamla's public denials of any alliance with Farley's TPP. A viral April 2025 voice note alleging election deals and funding talks prompted Kamla to label it fake and AI-generated, while Farley dismissed it as foolishness to stay focused. November 2025 saw Kamla's official Tobago visit, hosted by Farley, including national security briefings, yet no prior public notice was given, fueling secrecy claims. This timeline shows coordination. They meet privately, then issue matching deflections to shield political motives. The radar system cover-up. Farley claims total ignorance of the radar system, a government radar setup tracking sea and land crafts from a Tobago communication center. Kamla admits US military upgrades but insists it's purely for security like drug interdiction, omitting full public details. Their aligned silence suggests complicity in hiding operational scope, eroding trust on issues hitting everyday Tobagonians. Why trust is broken? Friends like Farley and Kamla conspire through lies, denying alliances despite evidence, feigning ignorance on radar tech amid US ties. This prioritizes backroom power over transparency, confirming they're not leveling with citizens. Call to action. Demand accountability now. Citizens must act to break this cycle. Flood social media. Share facts on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube with #ExposeRedAlies and #TobagoTruth. Tag at Farley Augustine and at Kamla Persad-Bissessar for viral pressure. Petition the THA. Demand Farley release full radar system docs and meeting minutes from Kamla talks. Use change.org for mass signatures. Rally locally. Organize Tobago town halls and protests at assembly grounds. Live stream via Prism Live Studio for national reach. Vote with eyes open. In upcoming elections, back independents exposing these deals. Research TPPM ties independently. File FOI requests, submit Freedom of Information Act queries to National Security Ministry on radar funding and US involvement. Transparency starts with you. Don't let their conspiracy silence Tobago's voice. Share this post and hold them accountable.
We saw in under 24 hours, the Prime Minister would have said that
she had no information that U.S. military personnel were in Trinidad and Tobago, only for her to flip-flop on that position and then indicate that they were installing a radar in Tobago apart from paving roadways. Could you just share with me the opposition's concerns, if any, based on what the Prime Minister has revealed?
This demonstrates that the Prime Minister is a pathological liar. The Prime Minister has never been fought with this country on these matters involving the United States of America and Venezuela. The opposition has repeatedly called for the Prime Minister and the government to be forthright with the people of Trinidad and Tobago on these very important matters. And unfortunately, she has not. She's the leader of the government that has not been forthright on this very matter. And her ministers who come to Parliament and they are asked critical questions on these very important matters constantly invoke standing orders of the Parliament to not account to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So they are obviously following in vain with the Prime Minister, and I am not surprised that she had to do an about turn, a flip-flop. She should be embarrassed. She should apologize to the people of Trinidad and Tobago for not being forthright and perhaps blatantly lying to the population on this very important matter. Today, I am being told that the people of Tobago are very traumatized by these developments, and you would have seen a news release from the THA where the Chief Secretary has confirmed that he has not been contacted with on this very important issue. So it tells you where we are in the state of governance in Trinidad and Tobago. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago should be very concerned that you have a head of government, a head of cabinet, none other than the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, not being prepared to speak to you on these very important matters.
What sort of questions do you have for the government and the Prime Minister? Because we heard the United States President saying that land operations are to occur soon in Venezuela, and of course concerns relating to that as well.
The Prime Minister should do as we have been asking her to do, to communicate with the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. That is all we are asking her. Be transparent. We are seeing the visiting of high military officials from the United States. She should communicate with the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Opposition leader, if you could.
At this time, we've had some issues with the existing radar systems and their capabilities. The new radar equipment being installed in Tobago is being installed to strengthen our capabilities and to assist us with counter-trafficking in terms of drugs, arms and ammunition, and interestingly human trafficking, which is becoming somewhat of an issue in Tobago. You may not know that there have been and continue to be illegal flights almost daily, inclusive of drone flights, which deliver drugs and guns from the mainland, as the traffickers have now. At this time, we've had some issues with the existing radar systems and their capabilities. The new radar equipment being installed in Tobago is being installed to strengthen our capabilities and to assist us with counter-trafficking in terms of drugs, arms and ammunition, and interestingly human trafficking, which is becoming somewhat of an issue in Tobago. You may not know that there have been and continue to be illegal flights almost daily, inclusive of drone flights, which deliver drugs and guns from the mainland, as the traffickers have now grown some common sense.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renison Jeffrey. This is the Workers' Rights Platform, and we are broadcasting live on the Workers' Rights Network. Today is the first of the 12th month, 2025. Now is exactly 46 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Trinidad and Tobago. Today we have came here because there are things that needs to be explained, and we are seeing that the government of Trinidad and Tobago have taken a position to not do so and to not inform you of what is taking place within our country. And citizens like me and many other brave social media activists would have been posting from time to time concerning the latest development that is taking place just next door to us. Venezuela is not a place in some far and distant land. Venezuela is a place right next door. If we spit hard enough, it could hit a man in Venezuela. So the mere factor that the government of Trinidad and Tobago, together with the Minister of Homeland Security, and by extension Farley Augustine from Tobago, they have conspired against the people that put them in place to be secretive, to not tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, what is really going on. And they are asking you to be blind, to be deaf, and to be dumb. And the reason why they are doing that is because they do not want anybody to question them. So if you have been following this platform here, we would have been exposing certain things that could get you in trouble. But to the intellectuals that are outside there, already know what we are saying. Farley Augustine and his two ministers cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted with the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And why I saying Trinidad and Tobago? There are 2 seats in Tobago. It have 2 ministers there that not only hold the fate of Tobago in their hands, but Trinidad likewise. And in these issues, we are seeing that they are not holding the present administration to account. And the people of Tobago must see it for what it really is. Farley Augustine would have came into power underneath the factor that PNM have been oppressing the people of Tobago. That is not a fact, because we will go in and we will dissect that. It was manufactured. So coming back to the issue, the threat that they say the PNM was delivering on Tobago have been manufactured by Watson Duke. Trinidad and Tobago, as I would have said, we cannot trust Farley Augustine again. And you are consistently seeing that when these people and them is in opposition, it's a total difference from when they are in government. Because we would have heard the tape from Farley Augustine together with Kamla Persad-Bissessar, in which they were plotting before general election. Now all of a sudden, Farley don't know nothing about the radar system. And his two clueless ministers, the mouth is sealed shut, and the entire world is seeing it for what it really is. They understand. The entire world is telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, that what is taking place next door in Venezuela will affect us. But yet still you are seeing dotish ministers, people like Roger Alexander, King Dotish, and you are seeing Farley Augustine and his ministers trying to rationalize to you that we don't need to fear in this country of Trinidad and Tobago. And the whole world is saying different. It's the same thing that would have taken place with the COVID-19. The world is saying something different to what we are saying here in Trinidad and Tobago. And some of us must ask ourselves, why we even self entertaining some of these politicians and them. Honest to God, Kamla Persad-Bissessar do not deserve our ears here right about now. Because we are seeing a total difference to the same person who was in opposition. We are seeing a total difference to when this lady here is in government. She's showing scant courtesy for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to the people that would have supported her directly or indirectly to be the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And up till now, you cannot come up with a plan as to tell us what is our fate. The whole world is saying that we are going to be affected here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we are seeing ministers in government wearing jacket and tie. And then at the end of the day, Farley is coming to ask you for your vote there in Tobago. My God. My God, Tobago. For people that would have spit in the face of governance here in Trinidad and Tobago, would have spit in the face of the PNM, would have spit in the face of the UNC, and voting a total new administration that would have formed just months before the election, taking this from Farley Augustine and his two ministers of stupidity. My God, I thought at the end of the day, when these two ministers would have been elected, we would have changed the face of politics within Trinidad and Tobago, but not to see that Farley Augustine, that low-life politician who listen not to the people anymore, people who is family to the people in Tobago, is crying out they lost their CPEP, their URP, and their government posts. They would have been fired by the UNC. And then he come in to ask for your vote. Why you? We playing with ministers too much. We playing with them too much. Yeah, we playing with them too much. Too much.
The deception of Farley Augustine and Kamla Persad-Bissessar, unmasking the lies and cover-ups. Farley Augustine, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, and Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar have built a public image of cooperative leadership. Yet their repeated secret meetings and synchronized denials reveal a calculated conspiracy to mislead the public on critical issues like the radar system, a radar surveillance network now linked to US military involvement in Tobago. Pattern of secret meetings and denials. In May 2025, they held a fight.
Everything Farley say, Kamla said it. Every cover up, Farley say, Kamla saying it. And the world is telling us something different, Tobago. This man have the audacity to come to beg Tobago people for vote. We are in a different place here in Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Farley Augustine have no right to force this on the people of Tobago without their consent. It's a dictatorship that is taking place with the UNC. But at the end of the day, Farley, you have a duty to the people of Tobago to tell them the truth. You have a duty to the people to come clean with what is going on. Things that could affect the life and livelihood of Tobagonians and Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. You have the right to come clean. When people see Farley, people would have seen liberation. People would have seen hope. People would have seen someone that would have stand up despite the bureaucracy that would have exist in governance here in Trinidad and Tobago. Because if Tobago is affected, Trinidad is affected too. So I am not just here to call on the people of Trinidad and Tobago, but to also call on the people, not just Trinidad, but to also call on the people of Tobago. Farley Augustine and his two stupid ministers needs to get in line. None of them care about telling the truth to you, Trinidad and Tobago. Their only alliance is to the UNC and to maintain power. But on the horizon, we could change the scope of what is taking place. We could chart our own direction and reject the Farley-led administration. We could actually start to put our house in order by voting out Farley Augustine from Tobago and establish a new president. And the presidents must be this, Trinidad, that any government that do not align with what we are saying to them, they must know the hard truth that we're not taking that again. So I stand here, resolute Trinidad and Tobago, to ask you that if you have a friend or family in Tobago, call them. Tell them there's an election, a THA election on the horizon, and we here in Trinidad and Tobago is depending on them. We are dependent on the people of Tobago to see and to change, to start the change from outside here. And we are calling on Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad especially. You have any family, any friends over there in Tobago? Tell them, vote out the Farley-led administration and their two dotish ministers and them that contribute nothing whatsoever to the budget, contribute nothing whatsoever. Nothing! Huh.
Hi folks, especially the people of Tobago. I'm here to show us our new road by the airport. You see that camouflage thing spinning in the air there? That's our new road. That's the road that the Prime Minister said a few days ago was being built by a foreign government to assist us here in Tobago. That's not a radar, that's a road, according to our Prime Minister. And according to your Chief Secretary, people of Tobago, this is a refueling plane. And according to the MP for Tobago East, Mr. David Thomas, with your shameless self, according to him, this is standard international upgrades to our new airport. This camouflage device, according to David Thomas, they are taking us for fools. I am saying to her, on behalf of the people of Tobago, we do not want that here. And whatever arrangements you have with any foreign government, as the government of Trinidad and Tobago, take that device to Trinidad. And I mean no disrespect to the people of Trinidad, my brothers and sisters there. If you all don't want it there, then you treat with that, with your government. So let me say this in good Tobago dialect. We don't want them here. Take your soul and carry them back to Trinidad. We don't want them here. Are we so a dagawa? And I'm saying to the Chief Secretary, it's time to break ranks and put the people of Tobago first. Tobago must be placed first by you for the very first time. I know you have a good relationship with the UNC. I know you all are in bed together. But if she considered you, she would have told you beforehand that they were going to do this nonsense to negatively impact the lives of the people of Tobago. And the fact that she did not tell you means that she did not consider you to be important. And I'm saying to you, Mr. Chief Secretary, it is time to break ranks with your UNC friends on this matter, because this is a matter where the people of Tobago must be placed first, above your political convenience, above your personal relationships, and above your personal ambitions. So I'm calling on you, Mr. Chief Secretary, put Tobago first.
The people of Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister of this country, would have seen it fit to lie to the entire Republic. And we must take retribution against that. I ain't saying to go and blow up nobody's house. I ain't saying that. We must make our voices known. Every one of you must make your suggestion known in the public domain. Any of you that have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter must voice. Yellow is the curse and not the code. They're taking this thing too far. Pick up your phones, log on to Facebook, to YouTube, and to all social media platforms, and say big and bold, yellow is the curse. This is your lion Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
There's nothing much more to say, Akash. I'm sorry. what I put out yesterday, I can read it back to you. We had a very good meeting, very pleasant, bilateral relations. We are both committed to the narco trafficking, against it, against the human trafficking,
Yes.
against the drug
The
running,
report
you know.
2025.
And that's what we reaffirmed in that meeting yesterday.
Any mention of Venezuela?
You will not believe? The answer is no.
Nothing at all.
No.
Has this government taken any decision with respect to the U.S. declaring the Maduro regime a terrorist organization?
No, we have not. We have not gone down that pathway. No, we
Would
have
this
not.
government recognize Maduro as the legitimate president of Venezuela?
I will tell you this, we stand with the people of Venezuela. We stand with the people of Venezuela.
We saw pictures of a U.S. Air Force aircraft in Tobago today. Can you tell us?
Joel Sampson and David Thomas are traitors to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They have not just sold out, they have engaged in behaviors of trying to rationalize the dagger that will now stick in the backs of Tobagonians and by extension Trinidad, because at the end of the day, when they are feeling it, we are feeling it too. Look, we are hearing that Soliers is positioned in strategic location within Trinidad and Tobago and have a highly operating system that they place just in front of our eyes. And when we, Trinidad and Tobago, asking the government as to divulge or to give information on what we are really seeing, what we are experiencing daily. People seeing chopper flying low. People are seeing different people walking through Trinidad and Tobago having different accent in US camouflage. They are seeing boats on the horizon, and we have a dirty, stupid Minister of Homeland Security that not only politically dunce, he dunce here in the real world too. And he's telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, he's trying to convince the intellectuals of this country that he ain't seen nothing. He ain't seen nothing that we should be afraid of. They need to come to he. We need to come to Alexander as to tell him, hey, this is what's going on here in Trinidad and Tobago, and this is your job. This is your job. Farley, you see what you do to us? Bye. Bye.
West warship has been spotted in the Gulf of Paria. Could you give us a little update on that in terms of whether permission was sought by the U.S. to enter Trinidad and Tobago's waters?
I have seen no ship. Nobody have sent any ship to me. So the only way I can answer that is I have no idea if there's a ship there. You see? If I saw a ship there and you see me present, then you ask me about the ship. I don't know. I have no answers for that as a stand because I know I haven't seen any ship.
I did send you a WhatsApp earlier on today. I don't know if you saw it as yet, with a foreign media house pointing out the ship in the Gulf of Paria, a U.S. warship.
Well, the foreign media house probably needs to see me if they want to answer for me and ask me this ship and take me to the ship and say this ship I'm talking about. And that's it.
And any update at all you could give between the U.S. and the Venezuelan tension?
Well, I cannot speak to the tension. What I can tell you is this. The presence of the United States in international waters continues to benefit the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because now persons are hesitating, or there's great hesitation in persons bringing in guns, illegal drugs, and performing this act of human trafficking. That much I can tell you.
No.
So I continue to shower praises on them. Our borders was very porous over the years, and we have some friends or partners with us that is assisting that. What else can we say? What else can you ask for? It's all about making your country safe.
No. The U.S.
So Alexander ain't see no ship. No ship outside in the water. You won't see nothing. The Minister of Homeland Security, the man that is tasked with the responsibility in looking after the safety of Trinidad and Tobago. You won't see no ship outside there. And I would have put out a question earlier, Trinidad and Tobago. Do you have confidence in this administration when we sure, positively sure, when the media just being nice, when they say Kamla Persad-Bissessar double down on what she's saying, and she's trying to justify the lie, the nasty, stinking lie that she would have put outside there with the public, that they are here to build roads. My God, at least Kamla, come now, man. Ease me up with that nonsense that you just be talking some of the times. And I mean, some of the gullible supporters and them are engaged in the same thing. And what they are doing to you online, they are engaging in online bullying. When they see that they have people is releasing intelligent responses, they are engaging in online bullying to bully you off of social media, to bully you off the sense that you have, that you are emitting within the public domain. They are there to bully you, and there are lists of people. We are going to deliver the list. But here is what the international audience is saying concerning what could take place here.
If the U.S. did strike inside Venezuela, what kind of retaliation might we see?
International audience is saying this.
If the U.S. did strike inside Venezuela, what kind of retaliation might we see from Nicolas Maduro, and what might it look like?
Well, I don't think there's any question that if you're going to conduct land attacks and you're going to start throwing bombs in Venezuela itself, that they are going to defend themselves, and they're going to try to strike back. And that means that we could lose lives. And it's for that reason that I think it's really important that the President of the United States take some time here to try to understand just exactly what are the objectives. You can't just do this by the seat of your pants. That's too much firepower. And one accident, one misplaced target could result in a small war with Venezuela.
The international audience is saying to us here in Trinidad and Tobago that one target that loses its course, one misplaced target, could end up in carnage. One misplaced rocket could destroy Trinidad and Tobago for years to come. Even if Tobago ain't get hit, once the economy of Trinidad and Tobago is destroyed, Tobago is going to fall. Once Trinidad get hit, Tobago will fall. So hence, Trinidad and Tobago. In this THA election, we must be very careful and mindful of who we are voting into place to deal with this. Because all the nice cars are here driving, some of you could end up dead after the war. Some of your children could end up dead after the war. So it is important that the Caribbean remain a zone of peace. Some of you don't understand what that means. Because if Trinidad get licked up, the rest of the islands up the chain could end up in serious difficulties. Because as a Caribbean, as the chain of the islands within the Caribbean, we depend on one another. We are neighbors. And we must remain committed to fortifying that peace. And the US administration, from what we have been seeing, is trying to destabilize the Caribbean. They went strategically to mash up St. Vincent. They succeed. St. Lucia is soon to fall. It's on the pinnacles of collapse. Mayor Muttley is coming. And if that new Prime Minister ain't fall in line, the young boy, he turn coming too. Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension Tobago, tonight I am specifically talking to you. We are not enemies. We were never enemies. Trinidad and Tobago was never enemies with one another. We must see what the Farley-led administration have become. They have changed on us. And we must change our vote. Do not let Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the UNC take away our peace. Do not let Joel Sampson and David Thomas, two upstart and don't start bad again, shamelessly lying, engaging in lies, a matter of fact, supporting liars in the parliament. Do not let them influence you to go to war that could destroy us here in this Caribbean and destabilize us for years and years to come. Farley Augustine, Joel Sampson, and David Thomas must go. And with that, I say it all. Farley could never be trusted again. Joel Sampson could never be trusted again. David Thomas could never be trusted again. And we must let them know that. Don't let no thing with no visa thing frighten or our freedom worth more than a stinking visa. Our freedom worth more than just staying silent and complicit. And at the end of the day, we are going to still feel it. We must make our voices known. My God, our forefathers would have fought for that. Mahatma Gandhi fought for that. He fight against exploitation. Martin Luther King. Watch what the international media is saying about us here in Trinidad and Tobago and what could happen and the possibility of a strike. What could take place? And you hearing these shameless ministers and them, all of them, don't get frightened. Bye.
If the U.S. did strike inside Venezuela, what kind of retaliation might we see from Nicolas Maduro, and what might it look like?
Well, I don't think there's any question that if you're going to conduct land attacks and you're going to start throwing bombs in Venezuela itself, that they are going to defend themselves and they're going to try to strike back. And that means that we could lose lives. And it's for that reason that I think it's really important that the President of the United States take some time here to try to understand just exactly what are the objectives. You can't just do this by the seat of your pants. That's too much firepower. And one accident, one misplaced target could result in a small war with Venezuela.
Right, Trinidad and Tobago. That is what the international audience is saying. The international media is saying that. And we are hearing a different tonation from members of government, including David Thompson and Joel Sampson and Farley Augustine, that would have brought a lot of hope to the people of Tobago and Tobagonians. And it's a fair assessment by Ansel Dellis when he called out to the Chief Secretary to break rank. Don't be a lover of office. If it is the office giving you a cock stand, when you see girls, they're running after you. If that gives you a cock stand, then I suggest that you get a different vice. Because what you are doing, Farley, by supporting this administration right now in this present incarnation, you are bringing death on the people of Trinidad and Tobago, including your families and them. And I am calling on you to break rank. Break rank. The lives of all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago, if it worth it for you to see all of us dead, if that is what you want, Farley, then go ahead. But when I see this take place within this country, I have no other choice than to speak out on it. Because if the international community can be talking about this thing explicitly within the public domain and putting up figures and facts right before our eyes, we know that this thing here is a regime change. And we are not seeing the rest of bloggers and them, all of them quiet. Or yeah, pay attention. Pay attention. All the rest of bloggers and them, all of them quiet to the fact. In the background, they done get a 40,000 already during the election campaign. And there's a difference now, everybody outside.
And let me tell you why I will hold all of them accountable. When you go to section 37(1) of the THA Act, it says where a secretary is assigned responsibility for a division of the assembly, he shall exercise general direction and control over that division. And I can replace he with she. In other words, wherever a secretary is responsible for a division, she has general direction and control over that division. I want to tell you quite clearly that public servants are not the ones who decide how to spend your money. That happens from members of the Executive Council. Public servants do not determine when checks are paid to contractors. And by the way, contractors are calling and complaining that they are not being paid for works done. And I want to assure you contractors that when PDP gets into office, we will honor contracts that you have with the THA, and we will pay you for the jobs that you have done, that you have dutifully done, even if we do not agree with the way those contracts were given out. You have done the jobs, we will pay you for the jobs that you have done.
That was Farley Augustine before he would have obtained power. And history is going to judge Farley Augustine, Joel Sampson, and David Thomas. This administration here in Trinidad and Tobago right now is answering no question and is engaging in ethnic cleansing within this country. We are seeing that certain positions is given out predominantly to people of East Indian descent, and that is a fact. You can't hide from that. We are seeing people like Lyndon Mack. Yes, Lyndon Mack. That dog that would have garnered support from thousands of people and then betrayed their trust. Watching their families and friends being victimized by this administration. And in saying nothing, and we are seeing this here again playing out right before our eyes with the Farley-led administration, the TPP. We are seeing that they are placing people within danger without any explanation whatsoever. Now, over the weekend, we would have seen a video going viral with Victor Roberts, and we are going to request, a matter of fact, that Victor Roberts come on the program and explain this video to us. And it's a good thing that it have many right-thinking citizens outside here that does be speaking from time to time on things that affect them, regardless to the threats laid publicly by Alexander. Right, the US Embassy, the hush up. Many of you, the citizens, but thank God it have right-thinking people. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to play that video, and I'm going to get this clip here from Victor Roberts, and over this week here, we are going to make arrangement for him to do an entire show here on this platform. So it's a good thing to have citizens like these here, like what here right now.
Watch now. We as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago have a responsibility. We vote in our government. These people are working for us. And we have to understand that we have the power. Never let a government feel that they have all the power and all the say. Because the say is in our vote and in our protest. So I saw this by, of course, Omari Ashby. Sometimes, most of the times he put up some terrific thing. And I feel all I need to hear this in a video. Because, you see, the leaders, when they lost the way, the community and the electorates had to know that we are the ones that have the power. So when the chief forget the village must remember itself. African spirituality teaches that the leadership is sacred service, not performance. When leaders play in your face, smiling while betraying their duty, the ancestors remind us that the people are not powerless. A nation's strength has never rested in the hands of a few, but in unity, memory, and the vigilance of the many. When the top wavers, the root must tighten. When the mouth deceives, the eye must be sharpened. When those in power lose their way, the people must find their own. You hear that? And all you have to remember that is we have the power, not them. We vote them in, them doing our work for we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You hear me?
I hope you remember that, Trinidad. They are doing our work for us. Farley Augustine is doing our work for us. When Farley get paid for running the THA is part of Trinidad too. Farley is doing our work for us. And we must remind Farley Augustine of that. Farley Augustine right now is bowing to Kamla Persad-Bissessar, that black man. The man that said, that gave an oath to Trinidad and Tobago. Not just Tobago either. Don't feel because you're in Tobago that you're not supposed to hold the oath of office for everybody that is existing here. Don't feel it's just, it's just Kamla alone and you could do what you want in a Farley. That don't work so, That don't work so at all. It's not working so. That ain't gonna work at all. We have reached a point here in Trinidad and Tobago that if we do not speak out, and this administration is left to do what they want, come 2026, we are going to be in serious trouble here, whether we like it or not. This U.S. presence within our neighboring country, just outside of our waters, could produce carnage on biblical proportion. So I hoping you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, understand what is at stake here, and by extension, especially Tobago. That what Farley is encouraging within Tobago could destabilize the whole of the Caribbean. That what Farley is allowing within the country and not telling the people of Tobago could destroy everything that we are seeing. Kamla Persad-Bissessar would have reached her time as a prime minister. She still put up herself. People still vote her in. Advantage the people in the balance. Because there are other leaders in the UNC that could have taken President Rushton Parry would have did an excellent job. But she remained there as a monarchy instead of passing on the baton and giving the people a chance, a fighting chance. She remained there with her old arcane policies that causing hurt to a lot of us here in this country and by extension the Caribbean. So when Ralph Gonsalves have been speaking out adamantly against what is taking place in Trinidad, making his voice known, this here is in the balance. But before we end this program here today, let me play this video with Victor Roberts, where he would have explained this thing from a different angle. And when we come back on the next end, we're going to chop this thing up.
Morning to all. Well, you all know that I have taken a position to be off social media for 6 months, which will up in January. But today being the 30th of November, there is something pressing that I need to highlight to this country. Donald Trump said that an attack on the Venezuelans is very much imminent. Today, ladies and gentlemen, to date, we have not heard anything from the government of Trinidad and Tobago, from national security, as it relates to the eventualities of this possible attack on Venezuela by the US. The possibilities, what can happen. We are in the dark. We do not know, we have no clue what we should do, where we should go if something like this happens. If migrants decide to flock this country by the thousands, what should we do? If we are under attack, because all of us know that the government, the Maduro government, look at Trinidad and Tobago as an aid to what the Americans is about to do. We heard from the defense minister, we heard it from the president of Venezuela, we heard it from the vice president, that Trinidad and Tobago, they consider as a part and parcel of what the US intend to do. To date, we have not heard a word from national security. We have not heard anything as to what we should do, where we should go. if migrant possibilities, if these migrants decide to flock Trinidad and Tobago by sea, which we have a port, every corner is a port, what to do? If for some reason some misguided missile take place and head our way, what we should do? We are in the dark. We are just here like headless chickens. What are we going to do? Wait until something happens and then run with press conference and say, look, do this and do that and do the other? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We have to look at the possibilities of the American attack on that country. What can spill over here as it relates to that? And we are just in the dark. So I am putting this out there. I am putting this out there that the government / national security needs to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Needs to say something. There is hundreds of possibilities. If America strike Venezuela, 100, we are the closest, 7 miles off at the nearest point. We are the closest. We will feel the heat first. And national security / government have to come out and say something to this country to advise the population in the way in which the population should conduct themselves. We should also be saying, look, in worst case scenario, we have this center, we have this here, we have that there. There is absolutely nothing for the population to go by more than some foolish rumors on social media, because we have everybody all in a sudden is a social media specialist and talking one pack of rubbish as it relates to that situation. Everybody knows something and everybody sees something. I am calling on the government of Trinidad and Tobago / national security to come out and say something to this country as it relates to the possibilities if America should strike Venezuela. I gone for now.
Now that was Victor Roberts there that would have been speaking on the possibilities of a strike if it end up to hit Trinidad and Tobago. Like or no like, dislike or no dislike. There's a real possibility, given the proximity between Trinidad and Tobago, that a missile could strike and hit our country. And the result of that is catastrophic. Lives, hundreds of people could die. According to the way it hit, it could lick up a village, because if it starts a fire, what could take place here in this country? Entertain the thought that if it hit a school, a church, or Sunday morning you go to church, what could happen? We don't know what is void. We see it in the movie and it looks entertaining, but actually being in it is a different thing altogether. Because there have been US troops that have been in war, and they could tell you there are some that they become psychologically damaged to a point that some of them can't sleep. We need to put these ministers in check. We need to put the Prime Minister in check. They were elected to do our bidding and not their own. They were elected to take actions on our behalf, not take action and then inform us. The state of governance within Trinidad and Tobago is very different. And we must see it as such. What Farley Augustine is encouraging within Tobago is appalling. And there are people that understand And one thing we do not know in our culture, with plenty of us, we don't know what to hate. And actions like this must be frowned upon. Farley is not a law unto himself. David Joel Samson is not a law unto himself. David Thomas is not a law unto himself. And they must know that. They must understand that. And they must feel it in election. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and to the many of you that would have joined us live on YouTube. I don't know if all the rest of platforms are up and running. To the many of you that would have joined us live on our other platforms, that would have been seeing the stream live on workersrights868.com. Thanks. And to the many of you that are in the chat, show a thumbs up, show a thumbs up. You see the thumbs up button? Show the thumbs up button. Click the like. Show some love, show some love. Because at the end of the day, it go a long way. It suggests the algorithm. So the many of you that are in the chat that like what you are seeing, thumbs up the video. Thumbs up the video. Thumbs up the video. Yes. Yes, Mr. Williams. He said, stay safe. Right. Yes. Thanks for the compliment. Show some love. Thumbs up the video. Let me see the like go up here. Now, what I am going to do here is close off this show with a word of prayer. And to you, Trinidad and Tobago, Father God, as I come before you today, your humble servant, I pray that your peace be spread across this nation. And even if there is rumors, wars and rumors of wars, protect us all. And open the eyes and the hearts of the leaders that make this decision without godly counsel to remember you. Protect us all, give us all traveling mercies as we go out on our various jobs. Those that are working in the night, the maxi taxi drivers, the taxi drivers that are outside there, protect them, dear Father. In your name I pray, amen and amen. So to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, thanks for watching, thanks for the likes. It gone up by 29 as seeing. So to you that haven't still like, show the thumbs up. And right underneath the video, you see the thumbs up button. It's like this. Press the like button, carry up the like. I want to see about 50 like here today. 50 like. So we ending off the show with we would have just played Victor about a matter of fact. With the explanation by what we have came to stumble upon by extensive research. A breakdown of what is taking place in Tobago and to why we could no longer trust Farley Augustine, Alan Thompson, and David Thomas, Joel Thompson and David Thomas. Why we could never trust them again. Joel Samson, David Thomas, and Farley Augustine. why we could never trust them again. Thanks for watching. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Workers' Rights 868. Google it and be a part of this fastest growing network. We need more volunteers. I mean, we have who we are there, Miss Bowen. Yeah, we are Miss Bowen. A matter of fact, I get a phone call. Let me play this video and let me determine if that we go further. If you want me to continue, we have some things to put up. So Tobago people, remember what I say, and I hope your eyes open.
Farley said it earlier. There's more and the rumors of more.
The deception of Farley Augustine and Kamla Persad-Bissessar, unmasking the lies and cover-ups. Farley Augustine, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, and Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar have built a public image of cooperative leadership. Yet their repeated secret meetings and synchronized denials reveal a calculated conspiracy to mislead the public on critical issues like the radar system, a radar surveillance network now linked to US military involvement in Tobago. Pattern of secret meetings and denials. In May 2025, they held a 5-hour closed-door session on Tobago's autonomy, development, and national security, despite Kamla's public denials of any alliance with Farley's TPP. A viral April 2025 voice note alleging election deals and funding talks prompted Kamla to label it fake and AI-generated, while Farley dismissed it as foolishness to stay focused. November 2025 saw Kamla's official Tobago visit, hosted by Farley, including national security briefings, yet no prior public notice was given, fueling secrecy claims. This timeline shows coordination. They meet privately, then issue matching deflections to shield political motives. The radar system cover-up. Farley claims total ignorance of the radar system, a government radar setup tracking sea and land crafts from a Tobago communication center. Kamla admits US military upgrades but insists it's purely for security like drug interdiction, omitting full public details. Their aligned silence suggests complicity in hiding operational scope, eroding trust on issues hitting everyday Tobagonians. Why trust is broken? Friends like Farley and Kamla conspire through lies, denying alliances despite evidence, feigning ignorance on radar tech amid US ties. This prioritizes backroom power over transparency, confirming they're not leveling with citizens. Call to action. Demand accountability now. Citizens must act to break this cycle. Flood social media. Share facts on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube with #ExposeRedAlies and #TobagoTruth. Tag at Farley Augustine and at Kamla Persad-Bissessar for viral pressure. Petition the THA. Demand Farley release full radar system docs and meeting minutes from Kamla talks. Use change.org for mass signatures. Rally locally. Organize Tobago town halls and protests at assembly grounds. Live stream via Prism Live Studio for national reach. Vote with eyes open in upcoming elections. Back independents exposing these deals. Research TPPM ties independently. File FOI requests. Submit Freedom of Information Act queries to National Security Ministry on radar funding and US involvement. Transparency starts with you. Don't let their conspiracy silence Tobago's voice. Share this post and hold them accountable.